I was living as a freelancer in New York City, just trying to make ends meet. And a friend of mine who worked at Grindr's new outlet called Into, and for those of you who don't know, Grindr is a sort of gay dating app. So it's kind of absurd for them to be hosting an advice column. And I was like, okay, cool. I definitely want to write a column because I need to be able to make it in the city and not have to move back to rural Oklahoma with my parents. So I pitched Hola Papi, which is something that I get a lot on the app. Whenever I'm online, sometimes people will just say Hola Papi, and I thought it would be so funny to sort of flip that around and make that almost a Dear Abby type situation. And the joke very much was like, what if Dear Abby was on a gay dating app? And what if Abby was a gay Mexican man? So it was going to be like a satire, a parody of other advice columns. But because it got pushed on the app, which is really a global phenomenon, I was getting letters from people from all over the world, and a lot of them were very serious. And I, at that point, decided to start taking my job more seriously as well. And that's sort of how Hola Papi came about and became kind of funny, but at the same time, very earnest and heartfelt. So the memoir and essays that I wrote that is based on the column is very much about that, about being sort of put in this accidental mentorship, authoritative place where it's suddenly like people are turning to you for advice. And the book is very much about just how complicated it can be. It's sort of about me looking at my past experiences, like, okay, but remember when you overcame heartbreak, or remember when you were bullied and you sort of got over it? And I like the idea that it's messy and that there's no simple answers, because that sort of plays well against the idea of the advice column where the answers are supposed to be very direct and very straightforward. It's so rare that I get to break into that sort of like break up with him, sis kind of voice that I think is so funny and interesting. The only times I've really been able to do that have been times when the letters presented to me have really unhinged situations that make it very easy. So for example, one time someone wrote me a letter saying, hey, so my boyfriend has been saying that he's Colombian this whole time that we've been dating. I go to his family's house for Thanksgiving and none of them are Colombian. They have no idea what I'm talking about. He's been lying to me this whole time. So fake Latino boyfriend. And I was like, I feel pretty confident in saying this is grounds for breaking up with someone, yes. There's a chapter in my book about me growing up in rural Oklahoma with my abuelos who were very, very Mexican and sort of wanting to reclaim some of the traditions that they lost while assimilating. So they lost Spanish, they lost a lot of our traditional recipes. They were very keen on their children and their children's children being able to make it in America in ways that they couldn't. And this chapter is about me going to work at a tortilla factory in Oklahoma to meet other Mexicans and learn Spanish and sort of like try to make peace with myself, because I also grew up in a very bicultural environment. And I was like, I know that I'm related to my abuelos, but I know that we're not quite navigating the same world and we're not quite moving through it in the same way. And I thought it was really my mission to get myself more in alignment with my identity and try to get some of those things back. So the book is very much about me trying to make peace with who I am, trying to make peace with the idea of being from a culture, a heritage, and negotiating it with the world around you. And the column itself is very much in keeping with that. I think it is really much a statement that says, I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of who I am. The way that I've moved through this world has been really unique. It's a little piece of the mosaic that I bring to the wider Latino experience, the wider Chicano experience. And for the first time in a long time, I'm happy to share it. And I'm happy to sort of like put it out there for the world to see, because I don't think my experience is the only one. But I think I'm trying to make it a little bit easier for other people to feel more at peace with the peace that they have, so that we can all come together and talk about it and we can commiserate and laugh about it and just be in community with each other.